All right, let's take a quick look at the news. We have about 5 minutes until market open. There's some news at 8:30, nothing major. The market was already in a major downtrend, so you can see it just continued selling off. A little bit of retrace, but we'll see what happens. We're in between 800 or 700 and 600. 700 right up here, 600 right down here. We have some 9:45 news, which will be very important. We have 10 o'clock news, also important. And then we have the BOC press conference at 10:30, which is also probably pretty important. And then we have miscellaneous FOMC speakers at 4:05. Not miscellaneous. Remember, Bowman speaks, but they're speaking at community events or whatever it is. So miscellaneous events, not speakers. All right, just getting my Bulenox set up. Should be good to go. One thing, did just release this beta weighted moving average. Very simple, kind of a cool twist on the indicator. Download it, open sourced, converted from TradingView from Alex Grover. Here's the links to the TradingView version and the author. I converted it under the same license, open source. It's free to download. Let's get in tune here with what is happening in the market, because we want a good day here. In a good day, we just don't want to make any bad decisions here. All right, we are all set up. Everything is generally in a downtrend right now. We have some new things to look at that I'm going to just be testing. We have this test one that looks very, very intriguing. This momentum one that is not tied to any account. 1 second, let me make sure it's not. Okay, we have it to our sim no copy account. Let's see how that plays out. This is on MNQ here, so it's going to be interesting. Entry was a little bit further up at 39, but because this is not being copied anywhere, I'm just going to go ahead and just test it out. See if it works, how we like it. Do we like the movement? Do we not like the movement? And if it loses, we're fine with it losing. Let's not lose sight of everything else that's going on. Again, that was entirely sim. There was no copying of any of that. So that was like a $40 trade in sim, not copied anywhere. Just want to reiterate that. Not copied anywhere. That's how it may be sideways until that 945 news hits. But we'll see. All right, so we had a quick trade there on the ES. Let me just bring up our rhythmic here real quick. You see that did copy to 5 accounts. Let's see what else we have going on here. This test, let's see here. We have so what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at if the ES and the NQ are in alignment. And if they are, I want to trade the NQ. And you can see they're out of alignment right now, right? Because the ES is technically in uptrend. I'm looking at the fast, so the lines. And you can see that those are out of sync. So we wouldn't have taken this short over here on the right-hand side. Even if it would have worked out, that's okay. Now the ES is starting to turn down. I missed a short on one of my Bulenox ones. It's okay. It would have been break even plus anyway, so we really didn't miss out on the movement or the trade because it would have went to break even. So yeah, we didn't get the trade and it doesn't count towards, you know, the once every 5 days, which is okay. We don't necessarily care about that. See what the rest of what we're doing here. Still selling off, everything is still generally down. Oops. Make sure those canceled in rhythmic, and it did. So we're good there. And again, 10 minutes until just that trade. There was a short here at the 81.25. I need to get better at watching this chart here. That's okay. really contemplating trading this on maybe 1 or 2 accounts. This one I'm trying to take on my Bulenox account. What I really need is I need a retrace, and then I can take it. About 7.5 minutes until 9:45 news, which, let's refresh our memories of what that is. It is the flash PMI, and then we have some Bank of Canada releases, rate statement, important, overnight rate, important. All this is very important at 9:45. 10 o'clock new home sales, that's important. I definitely agree it's medium. Sometimes it's important, more important than other times. I don't know if it's going to be more important this time or not comparatively, so we'll see. But I can say from 8:30 we sold off a little bit. Prior to 8:30 we were selling off, and we continued the selling at the 8:30 news, and then we are selling off at the open, and so now we're leading into 9:45 and 10 o'clock news. So put that into context. See, they're both moving a lot in unison. We're just gonna play it slow. There's no need to rush this. There's the NQ. Kind of looks, the same as the MNQ. They don't always look exactly the same, but close enough normally. Here's the 15-minute view. I mean, 15-minute view. I mean, look at that, straight down. Pull up our doubles. I mean, look at that, straight red bars. Singles, nothing we want to take. It lost some momentum here. All right, and then I had maybe a big down thrust bar right here, right before, 5 minutes before the news. And then you get the hits like little doji only 30 second. What is our 3-minute ES, you get some like maybe we're tired. You're getting some pushback up on the 5-minute. We went 7, 7, then 8 bars down in a row on my Renkos, so that's a lot. We might really be overextended here. But right before the news, so it could consolidate right before the news comes out. Let's see, we didn't have any pullbacks here, although I don't know that I'm going to trade any of these today. Not on precision. See what happens here. If we get a change on our right hand side, we might go short on our Bulenox. Down with a signal, right? So it's not just a down bar. But it'll depend on how close we are to 945 of whether or not I take it. If we are close to 945, we will not take it. I feel like my charts are lagging. My Bulenox for some reason. The price isn't lagging, it just feels like the cursor on it lagged. So about 2 minutes 15 seconds, 3 minutes, 2 minutes 15 seconds, 2 minutes 10 seconds to news. My honest guess is that my signal here happens during the news. I miss it, don't take it because of that. Which is okay, there's no problem with that. Yeah. Would not be upset. About a minute. Minute to the news. And this is where we're at for the day. About 480 after commission. So this is that sideways movement. We got about 22 seconds. There you go, it's starting to move. $49.5 and 56. So interesting, right? Worse and better, it doesn't really matter because who knows what the hedge funds and people are projecting. So let's see how the market reacts, at least in this first minute. And it looks like so far no one's really doing much. So it could be a good sign. You see that the 4 range kind of looks like it's trying to come back down on the ES. All right, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to be talking quietly because my daughter came into my office and I fell asleep. So this is going to be a quiet session. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's maybe turn this down a little bit. There we go. There we go. That should be better, right? There we go. You're right there. Okay. All right. So it's still kind of like we're going sideways. We'll see if what I would like to see happens, because this ES is still kept going down, is maybe the NQ follows suit and we get a change in red and a setup. If not, we want to see the ES go back up, the NQ kind of have a pullback and then resume back up. But there was also other news. So there was news at 10, right? So there was 9:45 news, but there's also 10 o'clock home sales news. So that's also important, and that's almost 5.5 minutes away. So we really need to be careful about that as well. We had one trade on the ES so far. That was in the morning. You can see kind of right here. So is the NQ trying to go down? We don't know. It's so we got below this 600 level, right? And we're pushing towards 500. It's kind of right in between. It's right near this 50, right? So it's like kind of hanging around this 50 level. So that tells me it really doesn't know what it wants to do and it's waiting to make a decision. And that's okay. We can wait too. I have a sell at 59.50 on the NQ. Because of where we are, I would not take that myself. And again, that would be a sell, 59.50. I'm not going to take that. I do have a setup potentially there. Let's take a look at our other charts. I know it really hasn't been doing much. NQ's just been, or ES in the 4 range, been grinding down. We know that's going to be down because it's been moving down. Everything else looks down. Let's look at the singles. You know, sideways, gross looking market, all down and sideways. Looks terrible. Look at all those colors. You don't like to see all those colors. That is never a good sign. And then look at the 80 range. It's just like kind of sideways. So let's take a look here. You know, ES is still like moving down, so maybe the NQ follows. We'll see. Question is going to be, does it wait for that move, or that news to move? The signal, because it's on the current bar, it could decide that it's no longer a valid signal during the formation of that bar. So that signal is subject to repainting only on the current bar, the bar that's forming, because I'm running this on price change right now. When it's on bar close or after the bar is generated, there's no more concern of the repainting. Minute and a half. Let me check my phone, see if we got an alert on the rate. Nothing yet. $30 seconds till home news. Again, immediate impact, but given where it was, maybe it's more high impact now that I'm thinking about it, because we have the rates here, right? We have the PMI, which is mixed, and then you have the home sales. So I was on mute, but I was trying to figure out my Bulenox. I sold, and it immediately gave me a profit target. $85. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm trying to pull up what happened here. So here's my, oh, you know what it did? I don't know why it did this. Yeah, it, how stupid is this? It sold a whole bunch of positions and then closed relatively immediately. All right, well, we'll have to fix that, whatever that was. That was not good. I did not like that. Let's let me test something on one of my maybe my strategies on that stuff. That could be it. Still testing this. This is weird. I gotta throw it on a sim account and test it. See what the dealio is here. I don't know. Must have been something weird with the data, how it's flowing through. Because I'm testing it right now, exactly what I did, and there's no issues whatsoever. But definitely something funky happening going on. Let's take a look. What's going on? But nothing really, because we're still kind of like down and sideways, right? Sideways, a little down, still mostly sideways and down. Colors hurt your eyes looking at that. And we might be getting in line depending on what this bar does with the ES shorter term trend. Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with $85 on my Bulenox account by accident, so, you know. Where's our trades again for this? All right, just need to take a screenshot of that. Very weird. Very weird. But all good. All good, all good, all good. All good. Kinda, chill. Gotta read the market right. Still an overall downtrend, so my bias is short, but no conviction behind that, and I don't like any of the setups that are happening because we were moving nothing but sideways. So for me, this is a perfect sit on hands situation. Sit on those hands. My strategy is working correctly on my Bulenox charts. That's on my server, which you can't see. I literally just sold on this up bar just to test everything. And the 20 points is there. We're headed to 500. Lock in 10 points of simulated profit. Right? It'd be simulated no matter what, but this one is sim account not copied anywhere. I just want to be very clear about that because I'm testing it. And that was a 20-point move. That's working. That's working. No problems there. I don't know. Don't know what the dealio with that is. So let me just close everything down on that side. Make sure we're flat. So we'll take 85 bucks. We missed that trade earlier, which was a break even. I believe I told everybody. Let me just restart my server. Maybe it needs to be restarted. Okay. I think I said this. So I said this. I wasn't paying attention, but I'm paying attention now. I said this was a sell signal at 10:04. If we go over here at 10:04, right here, so that closed at 9:59. So actually, that was not a signal. So scrap what I said earlier. If the ES had stayed in a downtrend, which it didn't, that would have been correct what I said earlier. But it's wrong because this bar went up, right? So this line down here turned up, and that colors the candles. And so if this one closed down, that would be a sell signal, and I can show you. Hold on a second. think I was on mute that whole time I was talking. But this is a sim trade not being copied. A test, an aggressive test, and I don't think I would have taken this. The idea of even creating the setup was to ideally get like one of these setups a day, 2 to 3 times a week. That's it. That's the goal. Again, this was not a good trade, and it's a sim trade, a test trade. I don't think that this trade I would have taken in real life. Again, it's not copied anywhere. At the same time, I'm trying to debug some weird issue I was having on my server. I thought it was crashing because of some render error, but I swore I fixed that forever ago. There's some update in NinjaTrader a long time ago that required a change in how you implemented some on render stuff. I just swear I fixed that though. Guess not. That's the first time it's given me a problem in a while. Super weird. It's crashed again. And this proves my point that I always tell people with NinjaTrader. Normally, if you're having problems with NinjaTrader, it's one of two things. One, your computer isn't strong enough to handle it. And by strong enough, I mean there's not to be that strong, but like maybe it's a decade or two old, you know, running Windows 95 or you know, something like that. That's normally not the case. Normally the issue is that people have custom indicators, and that could be a couple different things. Custom indicators that are not playing nice with NinjaTrader, and I guess maybe the third thing is they have just way too much shit loaded. So the custom indicators could be from vendors that are either poorly coded or they're just too like intensive because they're trying to do all this crazy cool stuff to like sell people on. All right, so that did exactly what it was supposed to do. Again, sim, that was not a trade in my Rhythmic accounts for precision. That was not a real trade. It was not a real trade. That was a test. Even though it went for 10 points times 2 contracts. It was a test. So I just switched that back so I didn't forget to switch it back later. Let's take a look at what we're doing here. Also, save some stuff on my other computer. I realized I had it in debug mode. So going back to, so people have either custom indicators from themselves that are, you know, open source, or they have compiled vendor indicators that are poorly coded. They're trying to do too much. They load things in the wrong states that just slow everything down. And the third one is you just have too much stuff loaded. So it could be either too many indicators that individually aren't a problem, but cumulatively too much of a load, or it could be a small number of indicators that are very, very heavy that are slowing things down, or you just have too much data loaded. That falls under that third category. So I try to on all my charts have only the data I need to see what's happening in the current day. Now, if I want to go and back test something manually, I'll load more data, right? So if I want to go back a year, 120 days, whatever it is, I'll load that. But I also then, when I'm done doing the back testing, I'll change the days back to you know, the smaller amount of data. So those are the typical culprits of why NinjaTrader doesn't run great. You can see it's just been, everything is in downtrend. The other thing that you want to look at, and this, I don't know why this happens, but this helps, is are you running on each tick or are you running on price change? You want to run on price change normally if you want to see something live, unless you need on each tick, like something for order flow or volume, then you need each tick. Delta would fall into that. Otherwise, on price change. So on price change is when there's a movement in the bid or ask or the close. And that way, if like the bid and ask stay the same, but a whole bunch of trades come in at either the bid or ask, that's on each tick. So trades are coming in, but the close and the bid and ask aren't changing. Well, when price changes, then you get an update. Not if trades just keep coming in at the same price, that it won't calculate. So that saves some, you know, calculation time. You know, it may not seem like a lot, but you know, on the ES where there's a lot of volume, you could save a significant amount of calculations. That's generally what the issues are. Like this computer that you see here is it's set up to run games at very high qualities. I don't do a lot of stuff on it other than trade, play some games, or do some video or image editing. Other than that, I don't really do much on it. So I'm not really on my Gmail or browsing websites. That's because I keep it, what I have installed on it, very minimal. So I don't want to get infected by anybody. So if somebody sends me an email, I'm not opening emails on this computer. I'm not clicking links on this computer. On Discord, I have Discord open, but that's literally, if you send me something where I have to click onto it, I'm not clicking a link in Discord on this computer. I go to my other computer and do that, which I have. I have two keyboards in front of me, so when you see me click the wrong buttons, it's probably because I'm clicking the wrong keyboard. But in any case, so this computer, set up for, to run at high performance, and so, I guess I do have a lot of. I can show you all my. This is everything I have open, right? It's a lot, but my computer was designed to run it. Also, I don't have too many unnecessary indicators installed. So I guess the other thing with part of having too many indicators, it's not necessarily loaded on your charts. Maybe I didn't make that clear. Is it could just be installed on your computer. So if you just minimize the number of custom indicators, vendor or custom or otherwise, that you have installed, get rid of them. Running open source versus DLL is always preferred. It always tends to run more efficient, especially if you do a comparison of, like, if I installed 100 custom vendor DLLs, which would be difficult because I don't know that how many vendors are out there right now that have that many, but in any case, versus 100 open source indicators, the 100 open source indicators are going to run a lot faster. So if you're not using indicators and you don't think you're ever going to use them again, you install it to test it and you don't like it, just delete it, get rid of it, clean your system up. Yeah, it may not do much in the short term, but if you're constantly testing ideas and whatnot, over a couple years, it can add up. Because when I went from my main computer where I do all my stuff on to this computer to do trading and stuff, fresh installed NinjaTrader, and I only installed the things that I want to put on my charts and use and things like that. I didn't pull over all the hundreds of other indicators, and there's a huge noticeable difference between how those two systems run for me, even though this is a faster computer, so it's not necessarily fair. But I would still say that generally it's a good idea to remove those indicators that you really aren't using and don't plan to use in the future. You can export them. You can just put them in a folder and save them for later if you want to see them. You could always re-import them and whatnot. I know some of them are a pain in the butt because they have dependencies, but it will definitely help things run faster and smoother, more reliable for you. Because the worst thing you want to have happen is you don't want NinjaTrader to crash or freeze or slow down when you get into a trade. So let's say you got into a trade and then the market sped up real fast. And then what happens sometimes is you'll start seeing old price, but your orders, because they're working at the quote exchange or the simulated exchange with Rhythmic, they'll actually be triggering off of what's happening in real time, but you'll be visually seeing what's happening delayed because there'll be a delay on your chart. And you don't want to run into anything like that because you could potentially go, hey, I'm going to move to break even thinking you're in profit, but the in profit happened 10 seconds ago and now you're actually at a loss. Okay. Yes, not necessarily happens a lot, but it could happen. And that's what we ideally want to avoid, right? Look at some more of what's going on. It's just sideways. We may be just calling this in a minute or two. Is there anything at 10:30? I can't remember. See, it's just this channel. of like going up, something like that. It's not gonna be perfect, but you know, something like that. Let me check the news one more time. Yeah, this press conference. Okay, with that press conference, here's what we're going to do. We are going to call it right there. Let me throw that up there one more time. So we had that one trade in the morning on the ES that was short. Didn't really get another setup that we liked. There was a couple potential setups that we didn't take. I don't know that it made it to the one on the CL that I called earlier. That was at 59.50. That was already when the price was below that level, and the market kept selling off. It's kind of putting in this sideways bottom right now. We missed the 30-second chart. There was nothing on the 60 range. This double one, we just didn't get a chance to trade it because it was just down the entire day. This we were just testing. We took that test trade on Sim that did not copy anywhere. This we tested on, again, a no copy. That was right here. And the tweezers we didn't really even look at. We were in a downtrend. Probably any sell signal you took would have worked out today, but that's all hindsight. I don't know that you would want to take every single one, but they would have all worked out today because we were in such a strong downtrend. So I think that's going to be it for me today. Again, up just under $500 on Precision for 80.50, and then up about $85 on Bulenox. So that's in total about like 565-ish. I'm happy with that. I feel like we made good decisions today. The goal is to be back here tomorrow making more good decisions, and the day after that making good decisions. And if that decision is to not trade or to stop trading, then we will make that decision. But the goal is to keep making good decisions and slowly build our way to withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, with no real rush or pressure to get to that state. As long as we make good decisions along the way, I think we will be just fine. Everybody had a great trading day out there, and I probably won't stream tomorrow, but I will be back on Friday. Have a good rest of your trading week.